Step into the dark realm of clandestine experiments and twisted inspiration as we delve into the enigmatic tale that links the chilling world of Project MKUltra to the bone-chilling horror of the Outlast Trials. Welcome to the debut episode of the Horror Corner, where we uncover the eerie truths that lurk behind the pixels of our favorite video games. Picture yourself in a time when secrets whispered in the corridors of power birthed the nightmare that transcended reality. From 1953 to 1973, a malicious experiment cast its sinister shadow, Project MKUltra. Imagine this. A covert operation initiated by the CIA's top brass, led by the enigmatic Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. This haunting chapter in history would later spark the twisted narrative of the Outlast Trials, an embodiment of fear and survival. MKUltra, an acronym etched in infamy, was born out of the thunderous Cold War era when whispers of mind control echoed across the globe. In response to the Soviet Union's psychological manipulations, MKUltra's dark journey began. It aimed to uncover the secrets of the human mind, to wield control over it. And so, on an ominous April 13th, 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles breathed life into this Pandora's box of psychological horrors. As the rabbit hole deepened, MKUltra transformed into MK Search, and a nefarious truth-seeking quest took an even darker turn. Imagine the audacious ambition, a truth serum to break the enemy's spirit, to pierce the iron curtain of deception. But records shredded, secrets buried, and truths distorted were left grasping at shadows, knowing only fragments of the monstrous puzzle that was MKUltra. And then, the spotlight shines on LSD, the mind-bending chemical that became MKUltra's unholy grail. The search for control took an unhinged twist as unsuspecting souls were plunged into a maelstrom of hallucinations. Picture this: CIA agents, doctors, soldiers, and even society's fringes, prostitutes and mentally tormented, thrust unwillingly into a waking nightmare. All while the man behind the curtain, Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, took notes, partaking in his own descent into madness. But it didn't stop there. Sensory deprivation chambers turned into torture chambers, and minds became battlegrounds, soaked in LSD-induced delirium. Imagine victims locked in their sanity eroding as they replayed their most degrading thoughts on an agonizing loop. Gottlieb's chilling recordings spun a symphony of despair, all while he lurked in his office, entwined with the very horror he orchestrated. Yet some volunteered, unknowingly stepping into the abyss. These souls faced horrors beyond comprehension. Subjected to 69 days of LSD-induced torment, the substance that promised control ironically spiraled into chaos, pushing the experimenters further into the abyss they sought to master. Questions arose, not just from the victims, but from the experimenters themselves, as they wrestled with the frayed edges of sanity, as if from a nightmare. The experiment spread to Canada, where Dr. D. Ewan Cameron, with his theory of psychic driving, would become a puppeteer of shattered minds. Commuting to Montreal, he etched a new chapter in MKUltra's tale. The experiments, now tainted with a foreign twist, brought new horrors to non-US citizens. Then came the reckoning. As the New York Times shattered the veil of secrecy in 1974, the truth unfurled, igniting investigations into the abyss that was MKUltra. The Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission unearthed the web of domestic horrors, exposing the collision between intelligence agencies and the dark dance they performed on unsuspecting citizens. And so, dear listeners, as we navigate the echoes of MKUltra, let your imagination run wild. Picture the dimly lit corners where minds were shackled and control remained elusive. Let this tale be a haunting reminder that sometimes reality itself can birth nightmares far more terrifying than fiction. Until next time, stay curious and embrace the darkness here in the Horror Corner.
Wiggle on down to the gooseberry patch, get you so high, knock you on your ass. Hey, sweetie, take a whiff on me. Anybody says cocaine ain't good is a motherfucking liar and a peckerwood. Hey, honey, take a whiff on
Thank you for tuning in to this episode, proudly presented by the APNM Group, a subsidiary of Alger Productions, LLC. We strive to produce content that informs, entertains, and adds value to your day. We value your input and would be delighted to hear your thoughts in the comments about this episode. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please engage with us in the comment section or via our social media platforms. Your feedback helps us shape our content and uncover new topics that matter to our listeners. If this episode resonated with you, we kindly ask that you rate and review this show on your preferred podcast platform. Sharing this podcast with friends and family helps us reach more listeners and continue delivering content you enjoy. For more information about the podcast, the host, or our parent company, please visit the link in this episode's description. Also visit us on YouTube and Rumble to see and hear every content produced by Alger Productions. Thank you once again for your time and support. Until next time, stay tuned and stay inspired.